PrinceWilliamLife.com radio. News and information about Prince William County, Virginia.
We have a very special guest this evening, Mr. Alborn. Now, Al has been with us on a number of other things, and God bless his heart. For those who believe in God, other than that, to whom it may concern, you know, blessings upon you too. Al brought coffee, and I love coffee. And we drink coffee often together. And Al has been a guest with us for a number of things over the last couple months. And as we grow, and probably our studio has changed a lot since Al was last here. How you doing, Al?
I'm doing just great, Bill. Thanks for having me on your show. Studio gets better every time.
Yeah, well, we're learning new things. We're on a new piece of software this week. We darn near had a panic attack because we have to, we're playing some music as we go along, and we have that Digital Millennium Copyright Act to worry about. And we got a notice last week, so we switched software, and then this week we couldn't get the music to play right.
Ah, bummer.
Yeah, we should have this ready by the end of the year when the world comes to an end.
Well, you know, I was listening to the radio before I drove over here, and I know you care very much about getting the facts out. So I do have to make one correction.
Oh, what's that?
You referred to me as a big libertarian.
And well, you are tall.
I have to say that for my height, my weight is quite appropriate, and I'm a normal-sized libertarian. I just want the public to rest assured. I'm not really that big of a libertarian.
No, you're not. Oh, okay. So, and that's very important. We love accuracy, and if you're going to learn any wrong facts, we actually want you to learn it from us because our wrong facts are better than other people's wrong facts. And the neat thing is about our new software is you do not have to be sitting at your computer to listen to us. There is an app for that. You can download a Live 365 app, and anywhere in the world, you know, we have a North Korean listener.
Really?
Maybe they're practicing their bad English or whatever, I don't know. But yeah, so we can actually look at our listeners as they listen. We can't see what they look like.
I have that app on both my iPhone and my iPad.
Yeah, so, you know, for those of you who say, well, gosh darn it, I can't be at my computer next week, as Bill makes all of these strange statements online, just download Live 365 for your phone or iPad or whatever it is that you've got. You know, there's an app for that on almost everything, and you can listen to PrinceWilliamLife.com each week. So, how's your day gone?
Been fabulous, very busy. It's been a great day.
Good. So, where have you been doing? Have you been out drinking coffee? I know you normally, I follow you on Facebook, and it's like you migrate from place to place, but you were at Corey Stewart's kickoff today, right?
Yes, I was. I went over there to the new Potomac Center, I think it's Stonebridge at Potomac Center,
right?
To watch Corey announce his campaign to be the Republican nominee for Lieutenant Governor.
Well, we wish him all the luck. I mean, if for no other reason than Corey Stewart is a homeboy.
That's right.
And whether you like Corey Stewart or not, the end of the day, he leaves Prince William County with an incredible credit rating and leaves the government in a balanced shape. And with everything we've gone through over the last 2 to 3 years, whether you like someone or not, when they leave something in good shape, you know, that's good. That's all that we can really say about that. So we'll see how the race shapes up. But let's talk about telework, because, you know, one of the things we're doing is instead of a studio like downtown, we actually have a small cubbyhole here, just blocks from the Chin Center. So we're going to declare right now the Chin Center is our international headquarters. And for you who are listening in North Korea, the Chin Center is a great place to go swimming. But you go to the Freedom Center, don't you?
I love the Freedom Center.
Probably
it's
no Koreans
a little bit
there,
closer.
or not North Koreans.
Well, it depends on how you define freedom. But the Freedom Center over in George Mason, fabulous facility. I'll go over there, swim, whirlpool and steam. Very nice. Run into some nice people.
Well, that's good. Prince William County has some great sports facilities, and wherever you are in the county, you do not have to leave very far to find them. So you're chairman of the Prince William County Chamber of Commerce Telework Task Force. So what's that all about?
Well, of course, for full disclosure here, Bill is on that task force and leading our technology effort. But I'm a longtime commuter, Bill. And it's became obvious to me that with today's technology, there's really not a requirement for those of us that are in the knowledge business. In other words, for those of us that drive an hour a day to look at information and add some value and move it on, to actually drive to a remote location and do that. Likewise, people in business waste weeks of every year driving back and forth to meetings. It's an opportunity cost. So to cut to the chase, the value proposition for telework is to reduce the time people spend on the road, to take that time back so they can spend it living their lives, and to make time that people waste driving back and forth to meetings or to talk to customers, so they can do that from their office, which basically allows them to grow the business, make more money, better for the economy.
Well, the more time you spend working, rather than going to work or coming from work, should result in more money. So how did you and the chamber get involved on the telework force?
Well, the chamber is really progressive here. I give Brian Gordon credit. I'm on the Government Affairs Committee, and every now and then a telework topic would come up, and I'd give my elevator story, and finally Brian turned around and said, well, Al, why don't you start a task force? So I give the Prince William Chamber of Commerce credit for the vision to let us and those folks in the telework task force run with a new idea.
Sure. So would you say that if it is a good idea for the community that the Prince William Chamber of Commerce basically gives its members the freedom, the chance to step forward and go, we can make our community a better place, how about? And then they support that?
Absolutely. Of course, there's always a value proposition. I mean, these are the due diligence, which Brian, he didn't make this decision alone. He chatted with the board and the CEO of the chamber. But yes, after due diligence, if we have a good idea, we have the resources. My gosh, we have access to over 2,000 businesses for technology and domain knowledge. So we could probably put together any good idea.
And I've belonged to the Prince William Chamber for quite a while. I believe 98 or 99 is when I first belonged. And in fact, in 2000, we even won Small Business of the Year, or Home-Based Small Business of the Year. So belonged to the chamber a long time. We have always been happy with what goes on at the chamber. They did move their main office, but what the heck, it's a nice drive. I can live with that. So now technology. Now you and I, in fact, we did meet virtually earlier today, and we discovered some of the challenges of meeting virtually. We're using WebEx software by Meet Me Now for a test this coming Friday, and we were pre-testing to make sure that everything connected the way it should, and we found that WebEx does not work well with Apple, but you were going to look for an answer for that.
It's funny you should ask, Bill. I did call Cisco, and it turns out that the version of WebEx we're using is not the latest update. And so I'll be hosting that meeting Friday. I'll be setting it up and running it. The latest version of WebEx does support Apple products for those of us that are Apple fans, and all the latest versions of Windows. As a matter of fact, I'll be asking you to test that again tomorrow.
Okay, so I know that they do have a new product, because when I log in, it says, would you like to upgrade? And here's the interesting thing about their new product. So I did become aware of it, although our system works well with our customer base, so we hadn't upgraded. But the new product is cheaper. So we currently pay $49 and some pennies per month for a 10-member anytime unlimited usage, which is pretty cool if you're going to connect with your customers around the world. But the new product is only $19.99 per month for unlimited usage. But for whatever reason, it restricts you to only 8 people participating in a meeting. So I will try that tonight or first thing tomorrow morning, and we'll send out new instructions, and we'll do a new test tomorrow. So that's good. I'm glad you followed up on that. Because the new product also, and WebEx has been bought out by Cisco, and Cisco is trying to do great and wonderful things, and we all should. It does advertise that it can connect to about everything. And I know I use, my cell phone is like a small computer, and you're an Apple.
Apple,
You have
iPad,
become-
iPhone, MacBook Pro.
Yeah, I mean, we should just name you Apple Alborn, because you were a PC BlackBerry person a year ago, right?
I had one of the original full keyboard BlackBerries issued in Washington, D.C.
And you made the switch, and the switch has been pretty much.
Haven't seen a blue screen of death since.
Hey, we can. That is actually something that we would like to get past. Now, you were at Corey Stewart's kickoff today. Is there any standout comment or statement that he made? Did he give a vision?
Yes, as a matter of fact, the location was brilliant. Basically, it was the new Potomac Center, I think Potomac Center at Stonebridge, and we stood in the middle of blocks of construction of new high-end retail, which is jobs. And Corey's vision is for the state, jobs, and transportation to get people to the jobs. And so that's sort of the elevator story. And I buy that. I mean, of course, I'm a fan of Corey's for the reasons you mentioned earlier. I mean, we've got 3 AAA bond ratings. We've got the lowest unemployment rate, lowest taxes in Northern Virginia. We weathered really tough times. But to see the same type of leadership migrate to Richmond with a focus on jobs and how to get them there, I find that, and small government.
Right.
Yep.
And in fact, one of your issues on small government has been a concern about money that county supervisors hand out. And if I understand it right, Corey Stewart has access to the same money, but his position is he hasn't handed it out to community organizations.
That's correct. Basically,
so why don't you cover that kind of topic in the big view?
Sure. Basically, and by the way, I love our supervisors in Prince William County. They all know that while I criticize maybe things I don't like, and we have an obligation to do that, I'm very happy with our county government. This particular issue has to do with something called supervisor funds. These are funds that are issued to county supervisors and our chairman.
And some people may have heard them referred to as discretionary funds.
Yes, that's right. But actually, they are supervisor funds. And over time, and it's not rocket science to figure out what happened, people noticed there's absolutely no policy of what to do with these funds. And so they were increased over time to create a surplus. So you can either spend all of it on your office or spend less creating a discretionary fund. Now,
A slush fund, a public slush fund.
Well, slush fund's a common word. A lot of people use that, but discretionary fund or slush fund. And, what this really is it demonstrates a flaw in our budget process. I mean, if we're giving supervisors more than they need to run an office, and there's no policy with how to use it, the potential for abuse is incredible. Now, I won't mention the specifics, but public who follow this issue are aware of a number of instances of the appearance of impropriety and perhaps bad judgment.
Well, we did have some months ago one supervisor from Prince William that tried to donate, actually did donate $100,000 to an organization.
And he didn't actually donate it. That was another supervisor objected, and the blogs caught it.
Right.
A wonderful organization, by the way, toured it personally, but the appearance of impropriety bothered a lot of people. He did nothing wrong legally, and I'm sure in his heart he thought he was right, but it just caught him by surprise, and that's the issue. Now, we're one of the Virginia Council of
Good governments.
of counties, and the National Association of Counties. Washington Post contacted both of them, and most counties have done away with anything that appears to be a slush fund. That is unregulated money free from policy or any rigorous oversight. We're one of the few counties that hang on to it. It's an issue that's not going to go away. I've noticed distributions have went down quite a bit, which is good.
But has there been any move to change the legal status of that?
Absolutely not. If you go to the budget database in the Prince William County Office of Management and Budget and the government website, I asked that question, and in spite of incredible public outrage, a committee of 100 panel that just people went wild over the fact they exist, blogs and embarrassment in the Washington Post, we still hang on to discretionary funds. They will go away because public outrage is there. Some of our supervisors don't touch them at all, Corey being one. Candlin hasn't touched them since he took office. Mike May is very conservative with his discretionary funds. I give Frank Principe holds his office to 3%. He gives all of our supervisors are getting better, but we need policy on their use and proper budgeting on the distribution of money intended to support the business of being a supervisor.
So, because it really comes down to, these are public tax dollars.
This is our money.
Our money. If they're not going to be spent to support a supervisor and doing their job better, then that money should go back to the county.
The real issue, I write checks. I just did my income tax. Like we all do, I must have written, a dozen checks to local organizations. I spent a lot of time deciding which charitable distributions to make. I am really offended that a supervisor would take my tax dollars and decide which charity, or to pick winners or losers with my money that should be left to the citizens. Those should be our choices. Government should not pick winners and losers. Now, we have a number of community partners, worthwhile charities that do it quicker, faster, cheaper than the government. I support them, and I support that list, and I believe that those that make it through the budget process as the best value and responsible use and measures deserve tax support. It's the discretionary use of our money taken out of our pockets to make judgments that we should be making that offends me. And I'm not going to give up on that subject if it lasts 3 years. That's
well,
fine.
Good. We'll have to keep tracking this, and we have tracked it on Prince William Life. We've published a number of articles, some by you and some by others that have been following this issue for about the last, certainly 4, if not 6 months. And we will keep people up to speed as to what's going on there. Now, you just endorsed Corey Stewart, who's the Prince William Republican Party nominee for governor, or actually he's with the Republican Party and from Prince William for lieutenant governor. You just endorsed him on your blog. Have you, and on Prince William Life, that's been republished, have you, so do you plan to be active in the Corey Stewart campaign, or?
I'm an independent voter. I do take sides. I believe it's our civic duty to take sides for those things we believe in. I may make some modest contribution if he needs people to collect names or something. That I tend to stay out of the mechanics of politics.
Right.
I try to stay away from the political events that are party endorsements, even though I lean right. It's no secret. But I like to remain an independent voter.
Well, early in the program, I was letting people know that I'm an independent as well. And I truly mean that. Now, we have a lot of news items that talks about Republicans, both on our blog and on our program. But I want you to know, and I'm very sincere in this, and I said it earlier in the program, that I don't belong to any particular political party. And if you want to come on princewilliamlife.com and discuss an issue, et cetera, unless you're a raving lunatic, I really don't care what party you belong to. I would love to have you, and if you're willing to do 20 questions, I'm willing to ask them. Now, you are an independent, but you're kind of a unique independent. You tend to not only you tend to describe yourself as a libertarian. So what is that all about? Well,
libertarian is actually, by the most definitions, maybe 20 to 25% of the voting public, because we're those independent voters who are fiscally conservative and socially tolerant. Our elevator story is simple. We believe in a world where nobody hurts anyone else or takes their stuff, and are the first to rise in those cases of injustice where there are people who do want to hurt other people or take their stuff. We believe in liberty, free markets, and peace. Liberty is to make our own choices, the right to privacy, the right to believe what we wish, to act as we wish, as long as we don't hurt other people or take their stuff. Free markets is basic economics. Everything we do is motivated by economics, everything. And that's the basic fair exchange between people, whether it be goods or services or labor, and peace. And peace is how we protect the first two.
But now, you are also active, or at least you participate in a number of Cato Institute. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the Cato Institute, and maybe some of your experiences in different groups there. Yagovoropolsky, you often send me items in Russian about a libertarian group in Russia.
Das.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about Cato and maybe some of your experiences as a libertarian or as you've explored the world of libertarianism?
Well, I've been a Cato sponsor for years and participate in their annual Cato University, most of them, in a number of Cato events. Ironically, Cato's motto is liberty, free markets, and peace. And it's a think tank, a relatively independent think tank that ponders and publishes on a libertarian perspective on issues of interest to the public. Obviously on health care, gun control. Matter of fact, a member of the, Dr. Tom Palmer was a co-defendant in a case that went before the district court to overturn the District of Columbia's gun ownership rules. You know, that's not enamored with guns. We actually were competing with the NRA on that, but as a matter of Second Amendment issues. Constitutional government is the foundation of Cato and American libertarians.
Now, that's always an interesting topic, constitutional government, because sometimes it seems like people are reading from different constitutions. So, but we'll have to come back to that. In fact, on the gun thing in Washington, it actually took another court to order the District of Columbia to open a gun store, because if you have the right to possess a gun, you should have the ability to also go buy one.
That's correct.
Interesting situation, because I guess there was so much red tape after the case that the court then came in and ordered the District of Columbia that if they couldn't find someone to operate a gun store, that the city itself would have to operate one.
And obviously what they were doing was not complying with the intent of the law, of the ruling.
Right. So it is an interesting world we live in. Now, politics is one aspect of Alborn, but being outdoors, because I follow you on Facebook, and I'm always seeing, besides at least 5 to 6 different postings about coffee every day, whether kinds of coffee or just silly little things about coffee. You often are outdoors. You were just at an event, I believe, this past weekend, right?
Yes. What was I doing this past
The
weekend?
Master Gardener.
I'm a Virginia Cooperative Extension Service Master Gardener, have been for 10 years, and a Audubon Society of Northern Virginia Audubon at Home Ambassador. And basically, I'm a small government libertarian. And you're saying, well, Al, why should you make that comment now?
Well, Al, why should you make that comment now?
I'm glad you asked, Bill. I really am. I believe that we should focus on things that people can do on their own initiative to make the world a better place. We don't always have to wait for government regulations to tell us what to do. And in this case, environmental issues are important to me. For those familiar with the Chesapeake Bay Act or Department of Environmental Quality's guidance on TMDL loading into our water, polluting our water. These rules are complex, complicated, subject to lots of lawsuits, and they're way behind in giving us guidance. So in the meantime, myself and other master gardeners and Audubon ambassadors are wandering around the county working with homeowners and property owners to teach them how to make their property a bit healthier and environmentally friendly, which also is an improvement to the water quality in the watershed. We've finished certifying 3 Prince William County historical sites, for example. We certified the Prince William County landfill which for those that don't know it has a beautiful buffer area, one of the most beautiful spots in Prince William County behind the landfill.
And it also has contributed to parkland over the years, because as they grow the landfill, then the older parts of the landfill get turned into park.
We hope. There's a lot of plans for the landfill. Not an expert on the final disposition,
Right.
because technology is changing the final disposition. As we become smarter with recycling and waste disposal, plans to expand the landfill naturally slow down and our options open up. Right now they're working on a solar farm, a wind farm on the, I believe, Marty Noe can correct me if I'm wrong, because they're doing some very innovative things out there with energy collection. It's just a fabulous place. It's the best landfill in the country, recognized, and a certified Audubon and Home Wildlife Sanctuary.
Well, you're not going to see or find that at just anywhere. Prince William is a cool place.
It is a very cool place.
You learn something all the time. Now, you had a posting on Facebook earlier today. I believe there's an event coming up this weekend. I could be wrong. I should have made a note about that. But for those of you, you had posted a picture of a poster with a phone number and something about meet me at the garden.
Oh, that's the teaching garden. We have a teaching garden, we the Master Gardeners of Prince William County, at the Benedictine Monastery off of Vint Hill Road. And every Saturday, I believe it's at 9 o'clock, we basically teach a subject during the good weather. And it's, if you haven't been to the teaching garden, it's worth going just to enjoy looking at the various exhibits. And if you want to learn about how to maintain your yard or other horticultural practices, go out there on a Saturday morning. If you search under Virginia Cooperative Extension of Master Gardeners, you'll get our schedule. You'll find we offer a number of classes in a variety of areas, help you with your garden, your yard, a variety of topics.
Well, that's good. And another way you can help this weekend is April 14th, a major effort is being made to clean up the Occoquan River, both the river itself and along its banks. And if you go on to princewilliamlife.com, just put in the keywords Occoquan River, or we have an events calendar and look for April 14th, and you can find all the information. They are looking for more people, especially people who are experienced in kayaking, because they have a number of kayaks that have been donated for the cleanup effort. Of course, they got to get the kayaks back. So you don't get to keep your kayak if you volunteer, but they need some people who are going to go out on the river, and the area is a little bit less accessible by foot, where they have to be accessed by, and it's all up and down the Occoquan River. They need your help. Go to princewilliamlife.com. I'll repost the link on the homepage so you can find it really easy, and they're looking for volunteers. So as we look at Prince William in the next couple weeks or month, anything out there that people should be thinking about?
Well, if you are interested in having your property certified as a wildlife sanctuary, give Prince William County Cooperative Extension a call. Get outdoors. The weather's beautiful.
Well, good. Anything in the chamber upcoming that, now you work on a couple of different committees.
Government affairs, and basically right now we are in the process of watching legislation out of Richmond, and I believe it's May 1st we're having a chamber event for all of you Chamber of Commerce members out there to meet with our representatives, our state senators and delegates, to basically chat with them. We actually issue a report card on basically their record on business issues of interest to Prince William County, and give them feedback.
And on May 22nd, there is a large real estate, everything you ever want to know about commercial real estate in Prince William County. That is being sponsored by the Chamber. Again, information will be posted and reposted on our website, and just look for our calendar, May 22nd, if you're interested in commercial real estate. And also the Chamber and different partners throughout the county will be looking to help you learn how you can make money and how commercial property management and practices can help you make money or improve the money that you do make. And if you can't make more, you might as well be more efficient with what you do. Well, I want to thank you for coming today. And it's always a pleasure. And I know
My
we're going to
pleasure,
meet
Bill.
again next week. Anytime you want, just let us know. We hope to begin going once we get a couple more technical kinks out. We hope to be broadcasting live at least 4 to 6 hours per week.
Very good.
And we have, we're just doing all kinds of great and wonderful things. So thank you for joining us, and I'll see you for coffee again later this week.
And Bill, thank you very much for having me on. It was my pleasure.
Take care.
PrinceWilliamLife.com radio. News, music, and local events 24/7.